Personal story segment tonight. 32 people in a suburb of St. Louis are under arrest after rioting and looting took place late last night. 8 more arrested today. The action spurred by the killing of 18-year-old Michael Brown, shot dead by a town of Ferguson police officer in St. Louis County. More than 300 officers tried to control the rampaging crowd with little success. 2 officers were injured, and the damage could reach hundreds of thousands of dollars.
They just moved across the street at a beauty supply place. I heard the glass break as I was up here, and people are running in and just running out with boxes of those hair extensions, anything else they can grab here. I've seen just children as young as probably 10 years old going in this store. So quite a chaotic scene here.
This is exactly what's supposed to happen when injustice is happening in your community. When you have kids getting killed for nothing. When they out here minding their business, doing things, you can lock them up. You can teach them. You can mold them. At the same time, you ain't got to kill him. He ain't got no gun in his hands. Why you killing him?
That man apparently justifying the looting. Joining us now from St. Louis, McGraw-Milhaven, radio talk show host on KTRS. And in Ferguson, George Sells, reporter for KTVI, the Fox affiliate in St. Louis. Mr. Sells, begin with you. Describe the situation right now.
Well, Bill, it's kind of a wait-and-see situation at this point. As the sun goes down, people get a little more apprehensive, wondering just what might happen tonight. I can tell you that this afternoon, the family of Michael Brown held a news conference. Among other things, they called for peace and calm. There's a meeting with the NAACP going on right now as we speak, not too far from here. Again, calls for peace and calm, but at the same time, a very unified voice among the people at all the rallies, all these meetings, and some of these protests that have gotten a little rough around the edges. And of course, what was happening last night that got completely out of control, calls for the officer to be fired, to be identified, and to be charged with murder. Now, whether any of that's going to happen remains to be seen. He is going to be identified. We're being told that by Ferguson's police chief. The law requires him to release the officer's identity. That's going to happen sometime by midday tomorrow. But the focus really here right now is on tonight. You said 300 officers on the streets last night. They will be available again tonight if anything happens, if they are needed. There is a strong
but I understand that the officers stood, many of the officers stood by.
That those calls for
Mr. Sells, I understand that many of the officers stood by last night and did not intervene as the looting went on. Is that true?
That is what the reports are. That the people who were on the ground say that in many cases the officers pretty much set up perimeters and tried to stay away and basically tried not to get violent. The mayor was speaking today here about the fact that the large presence allowed them to get through last night without any civilians getting hurt. Now, whether the inaction, so to speak, as it's been described by some, is the reason for that or is cause for criticism, well, that depends on
that's a valid point. We'll wait and see what the facts show. Now, Mr. Milhaven, do you believe that these looters and the people taking advantage of this terrible situation where the young boy was killed, and again, we will wait and see what happened. We'll wait for the facts to emerge. We believe they will. We have a black attorney general who's a liberal in this country, all right, and he's certainly not going to let this go by the wayside. The FBI will be called in. They will investigate. So we expect, we in the media, that all the facts will emerge. However, the people who did the damage last night, who exploited this terrible thing, are they Ferguson people or are they outsiders?
It's a great question, Bill. I would say that the anecdotal evidence is that most of the looters are from outside of the region. Many of the callers who called into my radio show this morning talked about how Ferguson is a close-knit community, diverse, and yet very close-knit. So many of those people who were out looting came into the area to try and take advantage of the situation. All
right. Now, Ferguson, primarily black town, I understand, 65% black. Is that true?
It's 2/3 African-American, 1/3 white. It's about 20,000 people. It's a working-class neighborhood. They just elected a white Republican mayor not too long ago.
Interesting. Some of the businesses, of course, were black-owned that got burned and got destroyed and looted, correct?
one of the stories I think that is important to take away from this is that, yes, there were small black-owned businesses just getting out, just starting, you know, that difficult 5, 6, 7, 8 month period that is now totally destroyed. There's also stories developing here where there was a car dealer, a transmission place, Zisser, where the community went to the store and took keys of the cars that were there and took a lot of the tires off the wall, took them home and protected them from the looters, and then the following morning, this morning, came back and brought the keys and the tires back to the place for safekeeping.
I thought you were going to say the exact opposite, and I'm very glad to hear that some in the community were as appalled as I think most Americans are, that you don't take the shooting death of a young man and break the law. You don't do that. Again, we have a system in place. Go ahead.
Yeah, Bill, I also want to mention that's the good side. The bad side is tonight they were talking about the protesters being there, and this is very disturbing, especially for here in St. Louis, which we pride ourselves on solving these problems as a region.
Well, let's hope the police will protect the property tonight, and the whole thing will diffuse over the next few days. We hope that happens. We hope outside agitators do not go in there. If they do, I will spotlight that on The Factor. Gentlemen, thanks very much. We appreciate it. When we come right back, the latest on